Alright YouTube, I'm still at Woodland Cemetery. There was a brief downpour, but I'm going to restart the video again and show more. This is a really beautiful plot right here. Shows a great love that a husband and wife should have, of course, and of course that's how it should be in union with God. Anteos, Tazi, and Geralda, or Jera is how her name is pronounced, or I don't know. Zavakos. Really beautiful plot. I'm still in the newer section of the cemetery. I'm going to continue to get you guys as much footage as I possibly can of this place today right here. I'm going to still got time to do more right here, so if you see a downpour that comes on, just know that I'm making a sacrifice in the wet weather. I really don't care. A little bit of rain ain't gonna hurt me, I guess. Just a simply beautiful cemetery right here. Loot family right here. William's the only one that still is, that passed away. Looks like their son and the parents, Thomas and Carolyn. So yeah, he was a young boy. He was 15 when he, actually no, 14 when he passed away. He was born a year before I was born. I was born in 1976, and it definitely puts life in perspective when you see, you know, and hear about, you know, people, you know, dying so young. Because, I mean, when you see people here that are 80 and 90 years old, you don't quite feel, I mean, as bad for them in the sense of, you know, that they lived a full life, as opposed to somebody when they, you know, lost their life, you know, pretty young. I mean, like a Maud Disley family right here, Robert. He lived a good long life. I mean, right here, and his wife is still living, Alice. So she's around, yeah, she's well into her 80s. She's 83. So yeah, it just definitely puts life in perspective, YouTube. It really does. I mean, sometimes you just never know, I mean, what's actually going to happen right here. More of the plots right here. Here's a couple more plots right here that have the person's faces on them right here. Shirley Diane Hooks, D.D. Bishop Dr. Willie Edward Mitchell Sr. A son of God's grace, Michael R. Williams. So he passed away very young. Obviously, he was passionate about sports. You could even see the Dallas Cowboys jersey on his grave, the number 88. That's, of course, Michael Irvin. So obviously he was a big Dallas Cowboys fan. Obviously loved the sports, basketball, and that type of stuff, you know, clearly. And love and memory, Morrison. So this is another plot right here that's, I guess it's, I don't know how these are classified, but their picture right here, Billy R. and then Mariel. Veteran of U.S. Army and U.S. Navy Korean War right here. Yeah, this place is just absolutely gigantic. I mean, it's It's just massive. I mean, this is by far the biggest cemetery that I know of anywhere within 40 or 50 miles of Dayton. I am not sure what Cincinnati or Columbus's biggest cemetery is, but I would definitely be curious to know. But I'm probably not going to go up on, I don't know if I'll go up on the ground anymore or not, but I'm going to get ready to wrap it up from here in a little bit here and get ready to move on. But I'm probably going to burn this footage as long as I can possibly burn it here. Actually, that's Stewart Street right there, so I covered a pretty good clip of this. I did not even realize I was this close to being back here at this. That's where it kind of goes back underground right there. So I'm gonna do a little bit more here of this, and I still got some footage left, so might as well burn it up here. Tina Hernstein Strauss Bach Jones right here. More of the plots right here. Maul Edna Little, another grave with a picture right there. Prudy Atkins, forever in our hearts and souls, very beautiful. Hazel Woodmack Jr. right here. Ogletree. Fortson right here. Sutton. As I said before, it'd be impossible to cover almost every grave in this cemetery, so I'm not even gonna try and do that. I mean, I'm showing a pretty good general picture of this right here, I think. Louise King Fain right here. Atkins right here. I'm actually glad the rain did let up so I could get as much more filming as I possibly can get in here. Porter right here. Dixon right here. Hahn right here. Mullins. Another beautiful plot. Ray's passed away 2010. His wife Clea, for some reason that was not ingrained on the plot very well. I do not know why, but that was not as done as immaculately as it normally would be for a place like this, because normally they do a superb job here. Here's a gravesite. Cynthia Adams, she obviously is still living. Phillips Homer Sr., he's passed away. His wife Nanny, she's, I don't know, that's a good one, if she's still living or not. They're in loving memory of Virginia Grimes, affectionately called Granny Goose. Gary E. Bynum, right here, Bynum family right here. So, yeah, you have to really sometimes explore the untapped sections of some of your, local landmarks, because, as stunning as the oldest area of this is, this does quite a decent job right here itself. I mean, it's not bad at all. Dennis Harding Clarence right there. Harding family, so obviously they got an above ground mausoleum right here. Daughter born in Osco, Kentucky, and reared in Russell, Colorado. professor of, I'm not going to bother to read that all, but a lot of people here from Kentucky, obviously, because of course, as many of you that know this, as many of you know the history of this part of the country, back in the late 40s, throughout the 50s, and throughout even part of the 60s, people came from states like Kentucky and Tennessee and West Virginia in droves, you know, back when there was, you know, thousands upon thousands of jobs in factories, that type of stuff. Back in those days in cities like Dayton, Youngstown, Toledo, Gary, Detroit, Flint, basically every state that's around the Great Lakes, you know, region, you know, had its, you know, industrial boom, you know, back in those days, you know. Going up exploring this little section right here. This is some of the, I don't know what this is called, but obviously there's some above ground burials here, but here's some of the people that will be buried here. Some of them are still living, so this is definitely newer because a lot of these people have not been buried here yet. But here's one, Becker Loretta. So she probably got a pretty good deal on this, given that this is newer. Here's I guess an above ground burial, I guess. Around here, several names with the statue right here. Miller Glen. Here's more of the people that are buried here. I'm assuming a lot of these people are buried here underneath this, or right around this. Hudson right here. Earl and Rosie, another grave that shows their picture right there. Prophet right here. So there is some people in this section that have died, but some of these right here are definitely some of the newer section. This is probably not as expensive as some of the others, but some people don't need a